Well, good morning. This is Frank in Williamsburg, and welcome as we continue our journey through the book Faith Without Religion. Today we are at entry number 178, and the title is Acting on Knowledge. Knowledge that is not acted upon is like rain falling upon ground in which nothing has been planted, says God. No plan, no purpose, no grand declaration of intent is of any value while it remains only on the paper in one's mind. Noah did not start work on the ark the day before the rain came. If you plant a thought tree and then do not water it, the tree dies. Remember that the old tree only dies when the new tree's root system takes over and strangles the root of the old one. You cannot walk in righteous humility if you say one thing and do another. Let your yes be yes is the admonition, not let your yes be maybe or when you get around to it. There will always be distractions. The key is whether or not you allow yourself to be distracted by them. Remember that the world systems teach, get done everything that pertains to the world, to business, to making money, to sports and hobbies and to have fun. And then, if there's any time left, you can use that for doing good, going to church, and spending time with spiritual matters. Then what happens tomorrow, when their lives are suddenly ended and the day comes for reckoning? You cannot set an example unless you are being an example, says God. Talk is cheap. It's easy to write things down when you have a gift for writing things down, but you have to act on what you write and what you say. Exercising obedience is never easy because it always conflicts with the flesh. It still has to be done though. There is no alternative. Diligent obedience is the call. Not occasional or sporadic, but diligent. Only through the consistent application of food to the root systems of the new thought trees can they thrive, grow, and finally kill off the old. No number of different versions of accountability sheets and other record-keeping systems are of any value unless they are utilized on a daily basis. The actions upon them will never become habits unless you force your own will into subjection. You must be able to become a co-ruler with me in your own domain before you can become a co-ruler in my domain. You will not see people ruling and reigning in the millennial kingdom that were ruled by their own wills on their time on the earth. All will have to fight this battle, says God, but esteem and reward is reserved for those that are victorious and who overcome. A lot in there to go over. So if you don't have one of these books, I highly encourage you to rewind the video and watch it in little sections and see if there's something that God is saying to you today through this message. I know that there's certain elements in this that are definitely a wake-up call for me. And remember, many of these messages were given years ago, and it's just astonishing how as humans we go round that mountain, just like we read about in the Old Covenant with the Israelites going round and round and round for 40 years. sometimes when I reflect back on some of the things that the Lord had instructed me about and advised me about years ago, and then I look and here I am still falling short on a consistent basis. So if that's you, don't get upset about it. Just get determined to do something about it. Remember, God's mercies are new every morning. You can start over, give you a clean slate, start working towards the prize again. But as he says, you have to be diligent. And you heard me mention a couple of times in here about this concept of thought trees. So that's a whole other teaching on its own, but very briefly, it's a study that we saw with a lady that actually has now, the technology is so much advanced that she can look into your brain and actually see a thought forming. So thoughts are things, and they form a root system. So if you have negative thoughts or incorrect thoughts or misperceptions in there, they're going to stay alive and thrive until you kill them off. And the easiest way to do that is to replace them with the opposite, with the positive thoughts. And look, this is not one of these, power of positive thinking things. There's always an element of truth in these esoteric teachings, but the power of God's Spirit is the key. And remember what the word says. It says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. So obviously there's a message there that mastering your thoughts is really, really important. And if you've got some negative thought trees in there, you deserve to yank them out by the roots, get rid of them and replace them with the opposite. And that is going to require the power of God's Spirit. Remember, the word says, not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, says God. Have a blessed day. We'll see you back here again tomorrow. Bye for now.